Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of video game development, specifically looking at the source-sdk-2013, an important toolkit for creating mods for iconic games like Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2. So, if you're into gaming or just have a curious mind about how these digital worlds come to life, stay tuned. Let's kick off with a bit of context. The Source SDK, which stands for Software Development Kit, is essentially a toolbox provided by Valve, the creators of some of gaming's most beloved franchises. Think of it as a treasure chest full of tools that developers and modders can use to build their own experiences in these virtual realms. It's exciting, right? Now you might wonder, what's actually in this SDK? Well, it provides the game code for both Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2. That's right, you're not just getting the tools. You're unlocking the very code that makes these games tick. And who doesn't want to tinker around with classics? Let's talk about the build process for a second. If you're on Windows, it all starts with cloning the repository. You just pop open your command line and type in this simple command, git clone, followed by the link to the GitHub repository. From there, you navigate to a specific folder called src. And here's a gem. When you run a specific command, it generates a Visual Studio project. It's like having a mad scientist in your computer brewing up the perfect mod potion. Now, if you're on Linux, you haven't been left out. The procedure is quite similar, but you'll need to ensure you have the right tools, including Podman. It's fascinating how the community has built a supportive system around these projects, making it accessible for everyone out there. Here's an interesting tidbit. Any mods that are distributed on Steam must be built against the Steam runtime. Why is that? Well, it ensures compatibility and smooth gameplay for everyone who decides to download your creation. It's like the protective layer that makes sure your mod doesn't break the game. And for those aspiring creators out there, if you're interested in distributing your mod, there are comprehensive guides available on how to navigate that, both on Steam and off. This kind of guidance is essential because the last thing anyone wants is to create an incredible mod only to hit a wall when it comes to sharing it with the world. Before we wrap up, let's touch on licensing. The SDK is licensed for non-commercial use, so if you're planning to dive in, it's crucial to understand these terms. It gives you the freedom to experiment and create, but it's always good to respect the guidelines set by Valve. As we near the end of our conversation, I'd love to throw out a thought-provoking question for you listeners. What would your dream mod look like? Imagine recreating your favorite game with a unique twist. What changes would you make? Thanks for tuning in today. Whether you're an experienced modder or just curious about game development, I hope this discussion sparked your interest in the Source SDK and the creativity involved in the gaming community. Until next time, keep exploring and creating in the digital worlds we love so much.